It was a freezing December morning in Montana. 28-year-old Ethan Walker woke up before sunrise in a tiny rented trailer. The heater had stopped working 2 days ago, and the cold air made every breath feel heavy. On the kitchen table sat an unpaid electricity bill, a nearly empty cereal box, and a photograph of his late father wearing dusty construction boots. Before leaving for work, Ethan quietly whispered, "Dad, I won't give up." His father had died in a construction accident 3 years earlier, leaving Ethan to take care of his widowed mother and his 10-year-old sister Emma. Every day, Ethan worked as a construction laborer. He lifted heavy concrete blocks, climbed steel frames, and worked through rain, snow, and scorching summer heat. His boots were worn out. The soles had holes. Every evening, his socks were soaked with cold water. One afternoon, a coworker laughed. "Man, those boots belong in a museum. Buy yourself a new pair." Everyone chuckled. Ethan smiled quietly, but inside, the words hurt. He had enough money for new boots, or groceries. He chose groceries. That night, while eating a simple bowl of soup, Emma asked, "Will we ever have our own house?" Ethan looked at her and smiled. "One day, I'll build it with my own hands." Months passed. Despite working full-time, money was never enough. Still, Ethan refused to complain. Instead of watching television after work, he spent every night learning construction management from free online courses. Most people slept. Ethan studied. Most people complained. Ethan prepared. One rainy afternoon, the company announced layoffs. Half the workers lost their jobs. Ethan was one of them. His world collapsed. He drove home in silence. When he entered the trailer, he couldn't stop the tears. For the first time in years, he felt defeated. His mother sat beside him and quietly handed him his father's old toolbox. Inside was a handwritten note. "Son, life doesn't reward the strongest. It rewards the ones who keep standing after every fall." Ethan read those words again and again. That night changed everything. Instead of searching only for another job, Ethan started a small home repair business. At first, no one called. Days passed, then weeks. Finally, one elderly woman asked him to repair her broken porch. He worked carefully, charged less than anyone else, and treated her home as if it were his own. A week later, she recommended him to her neighbors. Then another customer came, then another. Within a year, Ethan had more work than he could handle. He hired 2 unemployed workers, then 5, then 15. The young man who once feared losing his job had become the owner of a growing construction company. 3 years later, Ethan returned to the same construction site where people had laughed at his worn-out boots. This time he wasn't carrying bricks. He was there to inspect the building as the company's owner. The same coworker who had mocked him walked over quietly. "I never thought you'd make it this far." Ethan smiled. "I didn't either, but I never stopped trying." That evening, Ethan finally kept the promise he had made to his little sister. On a small hill overlooking the town stood a beautiful home. He handed Emma the keys. "This is ours." Emma hugged him tightly, tears streaming down her face. "You really built it." Ethan looked toward the sunset and whispered, "We did it, Dad." Success isn't about where you begin. It's about refusing to quit when life gives you every reason to. Sometimes the oldest boots walk the longest journey, and the hardest roads lead to the greatest destinations.